and we'll go live in 3, 2, 1. Hey guys, you are listening to the Will and Cody Show, where two cousins just randomly talk about random things, usually pertaining to personal finance.
Randomly.
I'm Cody Batten. Yeah, it's
Welcome.
random. Welcome back. We are a couple of weeks after our last recording where we keep talking about inflation because it's just everywhere and it doesn't stop. We were hoping for new topics, so today we're going to try for new topics, but it's everywhere and it just keeps getting worse. So we're probably going to mention a little bit about it today, but first I will ask Will, how are you doing today?
I am doing good. Yeah, we keep meaning to try to cover more current events, but the current events just keep being the same current events. So I feel like we just end up talking about the same things every time. So we might have to go back to our model of doing more pre-prepared topics that maybe we want to cover. Because sometimes I feel like it's just the same things. I feel like I have the same conversations with people all the time. Other than that, I'm doing pretty good. Did have a quick note to say from stuff that's going on with us. So my wife has been sick this week. So I don't know how, but I think there's a bit of a stomach bug going around. Somehow I have avoided it, and I'm going to knock on wood when I'm saying that. But she got sick last week, and it was basically like a double stomach infection. So one of her upper and lower GI. So it was not fun. So she was very sick. We kind of been treating it a little bit just at home, but then it seemed like it was getting better. And then really just this earlier this week, she just got a lot worse, just had no energy at all. And just couldn't get comfortable. She was just in pain and couldn't really eat a whole lot. So it was definitely really rough. I felt really bad for her. So usually what we'll do is if it's okay, let's just see, if we can get into an urgent care, because usually those are pretty good. And so I just found one that had the soonest appointment. And so I rushed home from work, and then we went and we went to an appointment, and basically they saw us, and I felt really bad for the doctor and for us, because he basically was just I don't know. And I was just well, this is helpful. So we ended up waiting for that urgent care, and went and saw them, only for them to say yeah, we're not sure what it is. You should probably go to a hospital. And I was just thanks. So I guess it was a smaller clinic. And so they couldn't do blood tests, and they couldn't do a lot of the other testing that they might want to do to see what this could possibly be. And they didn't want to just prescribe something, which I do appreciate. They didn't want to, just say oh, we're going to guess that this is what it is. And so I think what they were worried about is just in case it's something more serious than maybe just a stomach bug, which is what it ended up being. But I get their thinking that they were we don't want to, just say it's that. And then what happens if it's something worse?
Right.
So anyway, we decided to go to an ER. And we actually ended up picking a good one, because it's funny. There's one right by our house, and it's the busiest one in the state of Arizona. And so we ended up driving 15 minutes to another one, and nobody was there. So it was fantastic. So we were able to get right in, and they saw her. And then main thing actually that she ended up needing, which I wasn't even thinking about, was they ended up giving her an IV, because she just didn't have any fluids, in her. So that was a big thing where she needed just energy, and just to get that, and then some meds and stuff too. And they looked at it, her blood work was good. So we're definitely thankful for that. That was the main thing, main reason we were okay going to the hospital, is we just were afraid it was something worse than maybe a stomach bug, because it was really bad. I promise the story's getting somewhere. And so then we end up, seeing her, and I don't know what it is, but time in a hospital just goes by so fast. I swear we were there for an hour, but it was 4 hours that we were there that one evening. And so it was dark by the time we're getting out. And so it's just I don't know what it is, but it just goes by so fast. The moral of the story is that it made it really nice, because one, we had an emergency fund, so I knew we were okay there. But then also shout out to those. I don't know if anybody has these, but an HSA is fantastic, a health savings account. If you don't have one and you can get one, I would highly recommend. For us, we kind of treat it as like a health emergency fund, if you will. And so it's money you can set aside. And if it's used for medical expenses, it's actually tax free. And so, which is a really great benefit. And so I have it through my work, through our health benefits. And so the emergency room visit was not cheap. I'm just going to say, but it was worth it for us because we wanted to make sure it wasn't something worse. And so it was very nice. Like my wife and I talked about it. Like she's always very conscious of how much stuff will cost. And so she didn't want to go because she was like, oh, it's going to be expensive. We don't want to go. And I was like, I would rather like spend the money and have peace of mind than like if we were to go home that night, we would just been thinking, oh, I hope she's okay. Like, and been saved a little bit of money, but she probably would have just gotten worse. So they ended up getting her what she needed. And so she's doing better now. She's not all the way back. She's still a little weak and on the mend, but doing a lot better than she was earlier in the week. And so that was just one thing I wanted to mention too. And I know Cody and I talk about it all the time about having emergency fund and having those things in place. But man, when you're actually in a moment like that, it did make it a lot easier knowing that no matter what the cost was going to be, that we're going to be able to cover it. We can do what we need to make sure that she gets the care that she needs.
Yeah.
I always feel like there's a term in a book I read where this guy is like coined a phrase. And Cody, I don't know if you've heard this before, but he talks about how discipline equals freedom. And this guy's like a Navy SEAL guy, so he takes it like to the ultimate end of that spectrum. But I think there's a little bit of it that I realized too. If you take the discipline to save and plan ahead, when something like that happens, now you have the freedom to make a choice. Like if we hadn't had the discipline to save up an emergency fund or put money in an HSA, something like that happens, we're scrambling. Like we are worried, like, how are we going to pay for this? Can we even do it? If, she's probably going to get worse if we don't. But because we had that discipline, now we have, the freedom to make that choice of, yeah, I know it's going to be expensive, but let's go ahead and do it. Because we've got the money. So
yeah.
Anyway, I rambled on, but that was the story. And so shout out to HSAs. So
that's awesome.
It's very nice. It's like Cody and I, we talk about, like, for those listening, like we talk about Roth all the time, like with Roth IRAs and the tax benefits of that. But dude, the tax benefits of HSAs are off the charts. Like it's awesome. So
if you got
one, use it. I mean, it's fantastic. So.
I'm super jealous because I would love to have an HSA, but we just don't. We don't have health insurance. We've got a MediShare program or it's called Christian Healthcare Ministries, I think is what we use. But there's several of them. But no, you don't get an HSA unless you have insurance. So, but that's kind of on my list. Is eventually I'd like to once we get some insurance, get an HSA. So you're right. It's super nice. I mean, and there's going to be medical expenses. So I know some people may think like, well, I'm pretty healthy. I'm not going to use it. Like it's just going to be a waste sitting there. You're probably going to use it like that, or you're going to use your emergency fund. You might as well have the tax benefit. So for like me, like I wouldn't get that. Like I've got my emergency fund and it's still a peace of mind. And I can go through scenarios in my head where it's like, well, what if this happened? Well, we'll be okay. We got the emergency fund.
Yeah.
But that was taxed money that was saved, right? Like it'd be kind of nice to have that tax freeness attached to it as well. That'd be nice.
Yeah, definitely. And it's nice too. Like you could always have maybe you don't have to have as high of an amount in your regular emergency fund because you've got a quote medical emergency fund. So then it's like, I mean, most emergencies that are going to be high priority are going to be medical. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, otherwise it's going to be stuff like something's wrong with the house or the car or something like that. And that's what you can use your regular emergency fund for. But then if you've got this medical thing over there, it really takes out the majority of the quote emergencies you're going to run into. And you could pay for it out of that account. So that was definitely nice that we were able to use that. So
do you put like a regular amount Like, is it in your budget to put money into that, or did you already hit like a cap and you just kind of keep it there, kind of like an emergency fund? What's your plan with that?
So we actually haven't been putting a ton over in that. It's actually a nice. My employer will automatically contribute a certain amount throughout the year, and then we can contribute above that if we want to. So we've been putting just a regular amount every month, not much, but just a few out of each paycheck. I think I want to bump that up too to repay what we've, just paid out.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually try to get it up to a good number. Honestly, we don't have a ton in there. So, but the amount that we did have was nice to use. So I think one day we'd like to get the goal would be, if you look at your medical insurance, if you look at your out of pocket maximum, and I know I'm getting into medical insurance here, but it would be nice to have that out of pocket maximum saved up. So that's your deductible plus your copay.
Mm-hmm.
You imagine if you had that just sitting in there so that, no matter what happens in a year, if the worst happened and you had to pay the maximum amount, you could just pay for it out of that account. Like that would be sweet. If we could eventually do that, well, obviously that's going to be a lot more than we have in there right now.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually that would be a really nice goal, or at least having our deductible saved up into that, which we're not there yet either. But that would be a really nice goal. I think we would try to get to if we could one day.
Right.
That way on any given year, something happened, at least we have that amount set up so that we could just pay that. And then anything else we would need to pay, we could cover with the other emergency fund.
Right.
So I think that would be the goal, is your yearly deductible or your out of pocket maximum. If you could have that in there, that'd be awesome.
Right.
And then any more, if you end up using it, it won't hurt either.
Right.
If you have more than that in that account.
And you could also, like, the higher your HSA gets as far as the deductible, or the amount that you could put as a deductible, you could start bringing that deductible up some, and then your health insurance would be cheaper.
Yeah, then you can choose, those higher deductible, which that's what we've been doing because we're young and we don't have a lot of stuff going on. So we have a high deductible anyway.
Right.
But yeah, you could even, that's a good point. You could even increase that further if you wanted to. If there's a cheaper plan that has a higher deductible,
Mm-hmm.
You could definitely use that. Yeah, that's a good idea. So, yeah, that's one thing. I like I try to view it like health insurance as it's insurance, like car insurance and home insurance and stuff like that. I'll pay for the cheap stuff, but I want it to cover the expensive stuff.
Right.
That's basically the premise that you want to try to get. Because if you have it pay for everything, it's just going to be expensive regardless of what happens. But if you can cover the cheap stuff, then you can not pay much for insurance and it'll cover all the big stuff for you, which is really nice. So that's the way I usually kind of try to structure it that way. Of if you can cover the low hanging fruit, if anything big really happens, that's what you've got the insurance for.
Right.
On that,
definitely go as high deductible as you can.
As you can afford. Like obviously if you can't afford it, then yeah.
Our Medishare or healthcare sharing plan, I did it a little bit different. So mine is like a $5,000 minimum. Like any bill that is under $5,000 for myself, I got to pay for out of pocket. Yeah. But anything over that, they'll cover whatever it is.
Okay.
And I pay a little bit extra too. And so it's called the Brother's Keeper. And so it would only cover $125,000 per incident. But now as I've been with them for longer, it's gone up and up and up. And I think after about year 3, which I'm right at, I think it was going to cover like $1 million per incident, which is perfect for me. But like my wife, I've got her on like the top plan, the plan that they've got. And so we've got anything, they'll cover anything over $500.
Nice. Okay.
And she has a complete unlimited per incident. So with this Brother's Keeper that we give extra to, I'm able to go up to $1 million, where it would be just like 125,000 per incident. And then for her, it's like unlimited. So the only downside
you pay for that, but it's nice. Yeah. If something big happened. Yeah.
And so I just, we both could be on it. I think like the cheap plan, I think it's called Bronze, but I was like, I might as well give it to my wife, and over $500. Like that's pretty nice. So I wanted to give her that I'm more of a guy that's like, if I break my arm, I'm like, I just wrap it up. Duct tape will be fine.
Yeah,
So-
just sew it together. It's fine.
Exactly.
Don't worry about it.
But yeah. But you gotta have the emergency fund. Because anything under 5,000, that's kind of why my hand still doesn't work. I know we talked about that about a year ago. Actually, about a year ago.
Yeah.
Last month, where I broke my my hand playing softball, and I had to cast and like turn my wrist like this.
Yeah.
You remember that? You just go back to some videos, guys. If you're
remember
new
that.
here, just
I
go
totally
about a year
forgot.
ago. And it like the wrist like made an L shape and it got stuck like this. Those were really funny. I think your dad commented on one of our Facebook posts about it. Said I need to get better at softball. But anyway, I just went cheap because I didn't have any health insurance, and I was not going to cover. I couldn't cover whatever 5,000 more. So I was like, just go to urgent care and whatever they do. And it was like a couple $100. They wrapped it up.
Yeah.
I went over for a second visit, wrapped it up, and took Tylenol. And that was it. But I cannot make a grip. Like I got nerve damage.
Oh, dude.
This pinky gets stuck like right here. So I got some people's opinions. They're like, yeah, that's nerve damage. You need surgery. And I'm like, oh well. So
yeah, so you got to bump that up, Cody. You got to take care of yourself. That's not the moral of the story. Don't take that.
Don't take my advice here.
Don't be like Cody in this situation.
Don't be like me. I made a mistake, so it's okay. I'll be fine. So, we got a list of stuff to cover that we were talking about beforehand. So let's go ahead and get into it. First things first, we're going to be singing each other. Finally,
yes, we are.
We tried last year. We had I had a family emergency. Didn't allow us to do that. But we're going to try it again.
We're trying again.
So let's go.
So our family better beware.
Right.
Don't do it. Be careful. Stuff
Guys,
happens when we try to get
together.
together.
Don't do anything for the next month.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to see each other. We thought about maybe recording something. We may just enjoy our vacation and not do anything. So I don't know. We'll see what we can come up with. But we wanted to tell you guys that we're going to give that a shot. And I think we'll try some. I think we'll try to maybe record something.
Yeah.
But let's get into the inflation because that was next on my list.
Oh yeah,
we got to get over it. Yeah, things are expensive.
Yeah,
especially gas.
Yeah, Cody was complaining about gas prices there in Georgia. Well, how much were you saying gas was in Georgia?
I saw yesterday, which is at an Ingles, which by the way is usually like the cheapest here. I don't know. Do you know what an Ingles is, right? Do you have Ingles out there?
No, we do not.
Okay, but you know of an Ingles.
Yes, I know what Ingles.
Okay.
I'm trying to think what would be our comparable. I don't know what that be.
Fry's is Kroger out there.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think. Would it be Fry? It'd be more like a Fry's, right? Or
Yeah,
Kroger.
kinda.
Okay.
Ingles is basically a Kroger.
Okay, so then it'd be our Fry's. Yeah.
So but their gas is usually like the cheapest where I am. I saw $4.59. That's the highest I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Ever.
Meanwhile, I was telling Cody that like I thought what I had seen the other day was in Phoenix. It's 522, which just hurts. And then I looked it up just like a little bit ago, and it was saying I guess some places are now having like 544. So, which
I cannot
it
imagine
hurts
that.
so bad.
I'm over here complaining about 460, and I'm just like, dude, it's insane. It's 460, and you're just like, it's like way over 5 here.
Yeah, it's been over $5 for like the past few months. So it's been terrible. So that Honda Accord, by the way, it's paying off. I'll just put it that way.
Nice.
Going with that instead of something bigger.
It's awesome.
And then we are driving a lot less. I mean, not super intentionally, but yeah, things are crazy. And then I feel like groceries have also gone up, like the amount I've been paying for that. Trying to think, Netflix is going up, right?
Yeah, or we're getting ads. So
that's true.
Some people got to make a choice in the next few months.
Which I've already been having to get used to with like HBO Max. They've been having, they have ads.
I didn't know
So I
that.
feel like I'm already getting into it. At least the plan that we're on has ads.
I'm okay with ads if it's like in the beginning. It's the ones that's like
they're
just
throughout.
at random in the middle, and
it's at usual
sucks.
Commercial breaks, but yeah, there's ads throughout, so it's not as fun.
Yeah,
it always
Hulu
seemed weird
does that.
when Facebook was doing the ads, but they were just Facebook. What am I saying? Netflix. When Netflix started doing ads, but they were just Netflix ads. I always thought that was weird. Like it was like a preview for another show.
Yeah.
And it's like, I get it. I looked at the recommended page. Like
Yeah.
I've seen this. It's okay.
Prime did that. Prime did that forever.
That's true.
And then
Beginning, yeah.
they've started to do ads in the beginning. We rented a movie through Prime, and they still had ads in the beginning, but it was almost like, you remember when you would put in a VHS way back in the day, and then you would have like trailers for like the next, three or four movies that'd be coming out.
Yes,
They're coming to VHS, whenever. It was like that. It was like, here's the things that we're doing and coming up to. Okay, and then now it's the movie.
I forgot about that, man. Yeah, they used to have the trailers before a movie that you bought. Like, I own this movie. Why is there a trailer for another movie? And then it's so weird, like going back and watching those and then seeing trailers of like coming soon. It's like, this came out 20 years ago. Like, what do you?
Dude, I can't. I remember when, this is way off topic. I remember as a child, like 5 years old, when the DVD player came out, and we were so used to like throwing in the VHS into a rewinder. You remember those?
Oh yes.
'Cause it was way more efficient to throw it in a rewinder than to like put it in the tape player
and
or the VHS player and go, hit rewind. And so when the DVD came out, we went over to a friend's house and they're like, look at this disc. And I'm like, what the heck is this?
Yeah.
And I'm 5. I don't understand. They put it in and we watched Finding Nemo. And I'm like, whoa. Or maybe it wasn't Finding Nemo. It was Toy Story. It was the first Toy Story. And I'm like, whoa, this is insane. And then they take it out and then they put it back in the case. And I was like, don't you need to rewind that? And they're like, no. I was like, yeah, you do. I'm like, no, it's already rewound. And I was like, oh, so for the longest time, I thought the cases rewound the DVDs for you. I'm not even kidding.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You're like, they put the rewinder in the case?
In the case. So you put it in the case and then it's already rewinding. So I just literally thought it was spinning that disc.
That's amazing. We totally just somewhat dated ourselves. But I guess that's when we were kids, we were doing that. But yeah, the rewinder always scared me on the VHS because it was so loud. I don't know about your guys's, but you'd hit that rewind button and you thought the thing was about to blow up. It was just like, and I was like, my goodness.
It's like, whoa, it's about to take off.
Yeah. And then trying to like, remember when, I don't know how we got into this, but when like scene selection in DVDs like blew my mind. Cause like as a kid, you want to watch a particular part of a movie. So you'd have to like fast forward, but there wasn't the preview. It would like go to the blue screen and the fast forward, and then you'd hit play. And then you'd have to guess when the, when your scene was. But then when you could do scene selection, it was like, I want to go to this part of a movie. It was amazing.
Yeah. We used to have to time the Emperor's New Groove.
Yeah.
Because we didn't really care about the beginning. We wanted to get right to where he's a llama. And so it was like about 20, at the 20-minute mark, we're like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hit it. And then we would hit it. And then it would be like wrong. We're like, no, go back.
Totally remember that.
Sometimes when you'd fast forward, you would do the you wouldn't go too fast and you would see like the lines, but you could barely tell like in between the two lines where it was going on. Yeah. And so that was another way.
Anyway, you're welcome for that throwback, everybody.
Yeah.
I don't know, we got talking about that.
Or as a kid, when you didn't have anything to watch, you just watched the little DVD icon just like moving around the screen.
Bounce around. Yeah.
And you're like, is it ever going to hit the edge?
Yeah, perfectly in the corner. I love that episode of The Office where they're joking about that. Fantastic.
I completely forgot about that. That's awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, so inflation. What were we talking about? Inflation's really high. Things are expensive. Oh, we were talking about Netflix. That's how we got. That's the train of thought that we somehow just diverged on.
Inflation and DVDs. Okay.
So everything's costing more. I thought I saw something that like I guess the consumer inflation was like the highest it's been in like 40 years or something.
Yes.
Did you read about that?
Let me grab that.
Because I thought I remember seeing that in an article, which is insane. It was like 8% something for the month. I don't know, or from the year ending this month, something like that.
Yep. Dude, I just had it and I lost it. 8.6%.
Oh my goodness.
Since 1981. That's the highest you've had in I guess a year to date. Is that what it is?
I'm not sure if it's a monthly or year to date. We'd have to look into that.
But yeah, I got
or a year ending that.
Yes, that's what it is. I get I have a news source that emails me every month, and it's been inflation every morning. Like every morning,
I feel like
that's
all.
It's like
all the articles
where inflation is. Let me pull it up right here. Yes, inflation reaches record 40-year high, rose 8.6% year over year in May, up from 8.3% in April, and beating a 40-year high of 8.5% in March. So that means March already broke a record. And then now
and then it was
June, we're breaking another record.
Gotcha.
The majority of
May.
the price increases are costs of shelter, gas, and food is what contributed to it the most.
So yeah, gas has definitely gone up a ton, but I feel like there's some other factors with that. But yeah, I think that 8.6 numbers would be like from May to May. So May 2021 to May 2022.
Gotcha.
That's the 8.6, which is still crazy. I mean, you think about, 8.6%. That's, out of every $100, that's $8.
That's exactly what it is. It's an unadjusted 12 months ending May 2022.
Yeah.
Yep.
So in that last year, which is crazy, 8.6%.
Fuel and oil was 106.7%.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me because, man, it's
2022.
It's going up so much.
Or for 12 months ended in May 2022.
Yeah.
And used cars and trucks is 16.1%.
So let me ask you this, Cody, question. I know we joke about like gas prices, but for me, honestly, like, I feel like that doesn't affect me. Like, it's just like, yeah, I pay more, but do you feel like you adjust your lifestyle any when you see things like that? Like gas prices are more or groceries are more. Do you adjust much, or is it just like, well, I guess we're paying more? Does that make sense? Like, I feel like I don't adjust as much. But what do you do?
Adjust too much just because in the situation I'm in, my truck is a company truck, and so the gas that goes into it is company gas, and the only time I ever use it is to like go give estimates or go check on a job, and sometimes like on the way back home I may go to the grocery store, stuff like that. So as far as for me personally, like it hasn't changed at all. It's just changed what my company pays for in gas, which we do have to offset and we do have to think about. So our prices of our products are a lot higher due to the fact that I have to go over there to look at it. And then my crew has to go over there with these trucks that are like 12 miles per gallon to deliver it and all this stuff. And so that I've had to think of, but it's for me personally, no. But then my wife does have a little Honda Civic. And so we pay about, double what we did a while back for gas. But that was from, $20 to fill it up to $40 to fill it up.
Yeah.
So coming up with $20 has not been something I've just had to,
so it's not
$20 was easy.
Yeah. So it's not been for you. It's not been something about like, maybe we won't go out or, something. It's not been like affecting your behavior that way.
Yeah.
Right.
We've been able to just kind of come up with it.
Okay.
I will say like groceries though has definitely been, our budget has stayed the same, but we've been probably a little bit more choosy as far as, what we buy. So like we probably don't eat as elaborate as we did, or when we do eat, things that might be a little bit more expensive, we wait till like a commission check comes in or there's a bonus and stuff like that. And I might stock up a little bit more on the things that we really like. But as far as the weekly stuff that we buy, it's strictly the basics just because of that, of those changes. So,
I feel like
I know a lot of people that are having to completely adjust their budgets because of it.
Yeah. I feel like really where the gas thing comes in would be like, I guess if I was looking at a road trip, but it's not like I'm like, if someone asks like, hey, do you guys want to come over? I'm not going to be like, well, how far do you live? You know what I mean? And like think of it that way. Because it's not going to add up too much that one trip. I feel like the majority of our driving is the regular driving we have to do to go to work, to go shopping. The regular things. So
Right.
it's not like we can really cut that out. But yeah, I guess if I was going on a road trip or something, that might affect it. Like, okay, maybe we don't go as far because it's going to be expensive for that road trip. But yeah, I don't feel like it modifies, like I'm going to modify my behavior as much.
Right.
Would you modify, like, I mean, maybe if you had room, you need to like cut something out. I guess we could talk about, going back to like Netflix or something. I guess you could always adjust with other things
Mm-hmm.
of like, oh, maybe you want to cut out that subscription or a membership or, something like that, maybe to offset that cost. Cause I don't know. I feel like you can try to save money on gas by trying to be like, I guess, fuel efficient, but I don't know. I feel like there's only so much you can do when there's like a standard base that you're going to need to be driving and going
Yeah.
around. You know what I mean?
Yeah, as far as like your habits on driving and how to figure out ways to pay for gas, I mean, they're like for in our situations, it's really not that bad. My church is 30 minutes away,
Okay.
so
That's a little bit of drive.
that
Yeah.
is something that we've had to think about, but it hasn't become an issue yet because my wife has a pretty fuel efficient car. But we know people that are like an hour and a half away,
Yeah. Dang.
so they only come on like Sunday morning, and that's it. The once a
Yeah.
week
I mean, it's
instead of-
limited. Yeah. Because
Exactly.
that'll add up. Yeah.
Yeah. So as far as that, I would say, and this is just from my experience and from what I've noticed, is it's probably better to not go as many places than trying to find other ways to pay for. Like if you've got to go to work, like you go to work every day and you just can't come up with the money for that, then yeah, you need to pull from somewhere else.
Mhm.
But if you like regularly went out to eat or regularly, went out somewhere on Friday evening or took little road trips or do stuff like that, I would say like try to cut back on those things before I try to
Extra.
pull from other stuff. Yeah.
The
So
extra
try to
stuff.
make for now until, hopefully gas prices get back down to where they should be. Maybe just like, hey, we're only going to go to the necessary places. Like absolutely necessary. That's
Yeah.
where we're going to go. And we're just going to do date night at home. And we're going to keep Netflix because it's actually very cheap entertainment. I mean, if you look at the entertainment
Right.
value, a ticket at a movie theater, you got $10 to get there and gas, $20, $10 per ticket. You already spent $30. You're probably going to want to go out to eat. It's a $50
true.
event.
Oh,
Whereas
yeah.
Netflix only costs like what, $20 a month?
Yeah.
So that does seem like a lot, but like it might be better to just keep yourself home and entertained. And I'm not saying you should just be a couch potato,
Yeah.
but it
Find
might
cheap
be,
things to do. Yeah.
Yeah, it might be a wiser financial decision to maybe keep the Netflix or keep that entertainment at home and just not go driving places until things figure themselves out.
That's true. That's true. One thing too I was thinking about is like gym memberships.
Mm.
Like I feel like that's an area where some people might cut out. And I was thinking, I don't know if I would necessarily do that because I don't know if I could supplement it. I guess that would be the question is can you supplement it with something cheaper and still get the same amount of value? Because if for me, like if I had a gym membership and I'm lucky enough, I have a gym at my apartment that's decent enough. It doesn't have everything I need, but at least I can get by, with it. But if I had a membership somewhere, I don't know, for some reason, I can't get as motivated to work out at home. Like I just can't find that motivation to do as much because it doesn't have all the things I'm going to want to do. So I feel like for me, even if it was saving money, canceling that membership, I then wouldn't get the value out of working out at home. Does that make sense? Like I just wouldn't work out as much. And so then I wouldn't be, I would miss out on that opportunity. So I guess for me, whatever cost was associated with that, even if there is a cost, trading it out for something quote cheaper wouldn't be worth it because I'm not going to be getting as much value out of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I guess because then I just feel like I wouldn't work out.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat with you on that. Like I used to run a lot and I would do that for the fact that a gym was kind of expensive.
I mean, running is cheap. You can just go out wherever you want to go.
I would in fact do like minimalist shoes. So I didn't have to go buying a bunch of shoes. So I converted to minimalist shoes. That would be like 5,000 miles you could do on them.
Yeah.
And so, but I found myself where I had to spend a lot of time running And I found myself driving by gyms all the time and going like, oh, it'd be really convenient if I just took lunch and went in there. You know?
Gotcha.
And so after a raise I actually did get a gym membership very recently.
Nice. Okay.
And so I don't know. It's just something I would outweigh. I mean, if you're not using the gym, then don't.
Yeah, I guess that's also a thing. Look at any subscriptions you guys got. If you're not using it, now would be a good time to cut it because they're probably going to be going up in price. And I feel like the gym membership is one that's one that people just hang around. Like that episode of Friends where Chandler has the gym membership and he's trying to like get it canceled. And then like, who is it? Ross, I think, goes in with him, and then Ross ends up with a gym membership as well. Great. Like, yeah, he goes in to help him cancel it, and then he ends up with one as well. So I feel like if you're not using it, get rid of it. But then, if you're getting value out of it, it doesn't have to be something you have to cancel. But if you're not using it, cancel it to help pay for the gas, man. Yeah, stuff getting expensive.
Well, speaking of inflation, Zoom is experiencing inflation, and they're going to be charging us to be able to record more than 40 minutes. And so we've actually got a 2-minute and 23-second remaining time on our conversation here. So we're going to wrap it up in just a second.
A lot of things are adding that. I'm just going to say, you're probably going to see more where like they're going to try to get you through the paywall, at least start paying for stuff. So, and the things you are paying for now are probably going to cost more. So definitely take a look at what you're buying now. And if anything can be cut out, or hey, if you can find a way to make some more money to help offset that, that works out too.
That's true. So, maybe one thing to take away from all of this is find out what you're spending. Go write out everything. Find out every single subscription. Like, do you have YouTube Premium? Do you need YouTube Premium? Is it okay if you watch an ad before you watch your, streaming or whatever?
Yeah.
Check that out. I had YouTube Premium for a little while just as a trial, and it was about to charge me, and I had a reminder saying, "Hey, you're about to get charged."
Yeah.
So I canceled.
Or rotate.
It's not
rotate streaming services. We like to do that sometimes too. Like, there's a show we want to watch. Let's go get that streaming service for a little bit, and then we don't need 15 of them at once. Mm-hmm. So if we're paying for all those, like, let's just rotate them instead. Like, there's stuff.
Yep. If you have a gym, use it. If you don't use it, don't pay for it.
Yeah. If you don't use it, lose it.
That's great. We're gonna end it with that. If you don't use it, lose it.
Yeah,
I like that.
Good idea. So if you get value, you can keep it, but if you're not using it, lose it. So
awesome. All right, guys. Well, we got less than 1 minute popping up on our thing, so I'm gonna give you an outro, and it might cut out. So here we go. You ready? Visit our website, www.willandcody.com. You can ask us questions there on our Contact Us page, and that's it.
We'll see you guys.
Sweet, I did it. Good job. This is great.
All right, we'll see you guys later.
Okay, see you guys.